Hello everyone, welcome to Yue Lehman Real Estate. My name is Yue Lehman. I am serving Fresno County, helping my clients buying and selling acreage properties. If you have been thinking about or dreaming about living on an acreage property, you've come to the right place. Today our topic is how to navigate the higher interest rate as an acreage home buyer. Let's get started. Yes, I think we can all agree that the interest rates nowadays are higher. But does that mean you should let this stop you from purchasing an acreage home? Maybe, maybe not. So when is the best time to buy a home? So the best time to purchase an acreage home is when it makes sense for you, regardless of what your best friend or your sisters are doing, regardless of what the market is doing, regardless of what your neighbor is doing or what the interest rate is doing. If it makes financial sense for you, it could be a good time to do it. Think about saving and investing for your retirement or for a 1K plan or an after-tax brokerage account. You consistently invest into that account, right? You do that every month or every paycheck or every year. You do that regardless of what the stock market is doing. So similar to saving and investing for your retirement plan, buying an acreage home is almost like a forced savings plan. It's like investing for your future, your security, and force the savings plan in terms of home equity, and also you get to live in it. At the end of the year, this is a really good time to evaluate. Should you wait or should you move forward? I have a few tips that could help you think this through, and once you have a clarity, you'll know exactly what to do in the upcoming year. Let's get started with this. The very first question to ask yourself is, how long do you plan to live in the next home? If you plan to stay here for 5 years or longer, it'll make more financial sense because you'll get to refinance in the future if and when the rate becomes lower. Next thing to consider is, how do you feel about your financial situation overall? Do you feel good about your income? Do you feel like your income is stable? Your credit is good? Or do you feel like there could be a chance that you might have to be laid off soon? If you feel comfortable and confident about your financial situation, it's a good time to consider moving forward with a new home. If not, then it could be a better option to wait for a little longer until you become more comfortable and confident with your financial situation, and then make a decision to move. One other thing to consider is to focus on the monthly payments instead of focusing on the rate. One exercise you could do with this is to compare your current either rent or your current monthly payment, and consider the condition of your current home with the next home you want to get into, the condition of that, and the monthly payment you're willing to pay. If you're moving up, how much are you willing to pay in order to get a bigger house, a bigger yard, or a better neighborhood, whatever way that ends up being. So if you are currently renting, consider what that looks like in 5 years. So between now and year 5, how much would you have paid in rent? And remember, rents typically increase every year. Versus if you were to get into a home, how much does that look like? The monthly, the mortgage payment between now and year 5, what does that look like? And how much of it will be your equity, right? Because paying rent, you don't gain any equity, but having a home, you do gain the equity. And if you already are a homeowner and you're contemplating a much higher potential monthly payment, or a potential low price that you have to sell your current home for, Just think about it this way. If you have to sell your current home in order to get into the next home, you are doing the transaction in the same market. In today's market, you might be buying at a high rate and quote unquote low price, and you'll be selling the home in the same market. If you are in, let's say we're in a market that's like 2 years ago, everybody's selling their homes for a very high price, you would have to buy a home in the same market as well. And you're breaking even in a way. So you've thought things through and decided you want to move forward. What are some strategies you could use in today's market? Number one, we have, as a buyer, you have more negotiation power with the seller. With the Acreage homes nowadays, all the recent, most recently sold homes only have one offer. So that means you're not having to compete with other buyers, and you have more power to negotiate with the seller. You don't have to make split-second decisions like people were 2 years ago. That's a lot of benefit for you as a buyer. And you could also spend more time looking for the best mortgage option for you. Spend time interviewing lenders, spend time learning about different lending programs and what would be the best options for you, and making sure it's someone that you're comfortable with working with. It's very important in the home buying process. One thing that some people don't like to talk about is considering an adjustable rate mortgage. It's also called an ARM. So these type of mortgage typically when we talk about mortgage, most people think of a 30-year fixed rate loan. Adjustable rate mortgage, like it sounds, typically have a lower entry rate than a 30-year fixed rate mortgage. It will adjust every few years. It could be every 1 year, every 3 years, and there are a ton of different options out there. The pros obviously is you get a lower entry rate, and with the thought of in the future when the rate adjusts, that you can refinance into a fixed rate whenever that becomes a lower rate. But the con is when the rate adjusts at the time, we don't know, you don't know, the lender doesn't know if the rate is going to be higher than it is now. So it could be a good option for some people, but it's not the best option for everyone. Lastly, you can consider buying down mortgage rates by paying more points up front. So if the high rate is the absolute biggest concern, and you have some cash that could be used towards a rate buy down, that could be a good option. And there are different types of buy down also. There's temporary rate buy down, there's permanent rate buy down. So there's a lot of different options going into this alone. Okay, that sums up today's topic on how to navigate the higher interest rate as an Acreage home buyer. I hope this was helpful. If you want to discuss your specific situation with me, you can schedule an appointment using the link below. All right, this is it for today. Oh, don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.